Good afternoon, my friends. Daniel Miller here. How's everybody doing today? Another grim day here in the UK, unfortunately. Many more people losing their lives to this dreadful COVID-19 virus. My heart goes to everyone who lost their loved ones and everyone who passed away is in my thoughts and prayers every single day. Remember, we all have to stay at home. We need to stay indoors. We need to protect the NHS. We need to save lives. But staying at home, you are protecting your own life. You are preventing the spread of the virus. You are helping you are protecting your parents, your loved ones, your wives, your children, your grandparents. You're not allowing the virus to be spreading in your own vicinity. That means you're preventing the spread of the virus towards the neighbors and any other occupants in the local housing and shops and any other premises. And therefore you are a true hero who is a fighter against this invisible killer that has taken away so many lives around the world. And we've seen and heard from our scientists and doctors on what is to happen. We are facing a lengthy lockdown before either vaccine or some sort of medicine is found to be treating the disease. And we just have to accept it. We need to build a mindset which is similar to the mindset of somebody spending all of the time in nuclear shelter. I'll give you an example. I've been in the quarantine and self-isolation since the beginning of March. So that was from the 3rd of March until today. So let me work out how many days this is. From the 3rd to the 3rd would be about 28 days. And then we have extra, 18. So that would be 28, 38, 46 days altogether. 46 days without sunshine, 46 days without daylight. And if I did have a bit of fresh air, this was after midnight every single day, because in my area the streets are completely deserted literally throughout the day. But I just want to make sure I avoid any form of contact with anyone, anywhere. And that is the way it's been already for that long. And I'm prepared for another 46 days, and if need be for another 460 days, because we simply have to be helping the scientists to buy time, because by preventing the spread of the virus we are simply helping the NHS and our local health services wherever we are in any country, and therefore we are fighting the virus, fighting the disease, making sure that the scientists do have a lot more time to focus on the research, education overall. So that is of tremendous value, and we've seen already that during the last 6 weeks, due to the lockdown and all the other measures applied, we are definitely winning the battle, but we are nowhere near towards the war being won, because we are literally at the very peak of that dreadful pandemic here in our country. Unfortunately, in a short while we are going to be seeing and hearing from people who we know that they knew somebody who tragically passed away, be it a relative, a friend, work colleague, an associate, or anybody else from the local community. The numbers are so high already, and that is truly devastating. And regrettably, just like the scientists had said, we are expecting many more casualties to be arriving, and that is utterly devastating to know. So once again, I want to tell all of our gamer friends worldwide, all the viewers on different platforms who are watching my channel, make sure you're not going anywhere, you're staying at home, you're fully grounded, you're indoors, and you are basically protecting the NHS, our National Health Service. By doing so, you're also saving lives, and you are also a hero, because by fighting the virus through preventing it from having the means of transmission, you are a true fighter who is attacking this deadly invisible killer everywhere. You're protecting your own life, the lives of your loved ones, and of the lives of those in the local community, as well as those who are working for the NHS. Remember, we never ever should be allowing our health service to be overburdened or in a situation where you feel that the system is imploding from within, because there are too many arrivals, too many people wanting treatment at the same time for all sorts of illnesses in addition to COVID, and that itself would have been a true disaster. It has been avoided in the UK, and I regret to say the media and the journalists keep forgetting this, and that is the first thing they need to be thinking of, because in some other countries the pandemonium took place. And I've seen reports and I've watched interviews with the best doctors from Italy and Spain, and they said one day we were drinking coffees, next day we had thousands of people coming in at the same time. And that is utterly devastating to know. So, stay at home UK, stay indoors UK, protect the NHS UK, save lives, and indeed be a hero. Remember that, use these hashtags, so it's hashtag stay at home UK, hashtag stay indoors UK, hashtag protect the NHS, hashtag save lives, hashtag be a hero. Tonight at 8 o'clock PM, 2000 hours, we are going to be yet again showing our appreciation for everyone who is involved in the war against this dreadful pandemic, myself included. I run also a service that is helping people who experience losses, and I'm helping them on the psychological stroke emotional level, and anyone who had suffered casualties or indeed had some difficulties due to coronavirus outbreak could contact me and my services, and therefore will acquire professional help, and the services are provided free of charge but by appointment only. So it's not like a hotline where people make appointments and therefore they talk about the difficulties that they are experiencing currently as a result of this dreadful pandemic. So I will feel very greatly appreciated, and also as a person who worked in emergency services for many years, I find it to be very rewarding and truly humbling to see that not just the whole nation of ours, but the entire world is appreciating the workers who save lives on a day-to-day basis, and they've been doing that for centuries, you know. But I'd certainly say in the last decade, last 12 years, the degree of appreciation that was previously present has just completely gone, and we just heard all the words and all the talks on cuts and unnecessary services, and reduction of the provision for those who needed certain services the most. And I think due to this pandemic, the tables are turning, and it is very good to see that humanity has not lost its core value, which is being caring, being kind, being attentive, and showing appreciation to those who are indeed in the need or deserving it the most. So tonight at 8 o'clock, all of you who are in the UK, compatriots, all of our Brits and other residents of our country, make sure you provide us with a very great round of applause. I will do exactly the same together with everyone who lives in my vicinity, because we want to basically show to the frontline staff that we are absolutely behind them every step of the way. So it's 8 o'clock tonight, remember that. Right, so coming back to our Destiny world, what is it that we are doing in our Destiny world at the moment? If you were here with us, you discovered the new activity called Guardian Games. I have to say I'm slightly dismayed by all the negative feedback that is being dished out through various online hubs. I'm not sure what the beef is as to why certain reviewers and industry members don't like Guardian Games, but I find them to be very good. And generally, I would say that people who are not very keen on lengthy grinds and a lot of hard work invested in one single game will find it to be perhaps repellent to a degree, because every one of those medals and bounties is a very lengthy grind. I've seen some news through PC Gamer today indicating that the bounties don't work properly, and that the particular reviewer was using appropriate skills and they were not getting the scores. Well, I'll tell you one thing, that is completely untrue. What happens frequently is that the grind is lengthy, and there are certain assumptions in terms of how many kills or artifacts you are to be picking up, and those circulate through social networking, and they're usually, providing you with obviously false information. So you are under an impression that something's not working, but actually you simply need to be collecting many more things, or you need to combine certain skills in order to get to the final result. I've not encountered any of these so far, and I personally think that some of that criticism is, I guess, ill-conceived and unjustified. I mean, personally, some people will like lengthy grinds and others will just walk away from it. That's just the way it is. Personal preference about what you do. What I like about Guardian Games, it is a new addition very similar to the kind of festive seasonal content, what we had with the Dawning around the Christmas time. Ava Levant offering all these goodies. The entire tower is beautifulized with wonderful designs and decorations. And I think it is a kind of activity we really need at this moment in time, as we are facing such very, very many dark hours, literally around every country around the world, in every country in the world. And I'm very, very delighted to be able to take part in there. And, anyone who is a reviewer or a professional kind of gamer who does also write up on various new games for different online hubs is definitely stranded if they have to be going through so many different activities. And you will have I guess a clash of two subcultures. The current subculture out there in the community, certainly until a couple of months ago before the pandemic broke out, was all about speed, being able to complete things fast, race through things, get quick scores, ham it up, move on. And also that's been reflected in attention span of lots of younger people, where you find that their mind is frequently racing rather than really remaining very, very sort of focused on a particular area. You notice that in the way people speak, the speeches are accelerated, and 30, 40 years ago, somebody speaking in a way which is today considered completely normal would have been seen as, very, very hyperactive. And so these are all kinds of biogenetic side effects of the current technological status or development. And what happens with Destiny or with Elder Scrolls or some of the games that have this ever-evolving world is exactly the opposite, because you're given a task which is going to take a long while, so there's no way you can finish it quicker. And even if you're doing it in team, there will be certain stages which will have to be completed. And I think that goes against the current grain, and therefore will not be always perceived as particularly good or rewarding. And I think it's down to player preference. If you want to have quick scores, if you want to have high octane action, you go to Escalation Protocol, go to the moon, go to the towers and capture points, and you'll have that sort of relentless activity with new enemies and new team members joining in, and it's rather fast, and you will get lots of rewards there in consequence. I think doing these lengthy grinds is something else, and this game's providing quite a variety. I've heard yesterday from some of our friends who are popping in that they're not particularly excited about the most recent season. I mean, the most recent season perhaps less busy compared to the last 4, but I still think it is very, very good, and we need to really put it into perspective. They may have extra content, but the content requires daily maintenance, and there needs to be a lot of input on how things are being maintained by the company that produced the game. And at the moment, everybody is working under a great, great duress. There's no capacity for major workforce to be doing this, and as you know, some things cannot be done from home. Therefore, I did notice, and I have to say, there was a problem with the servers, Bungie servers, since the latest update. And although on the first night, this was on Tuesday, everything worked fine, last night things were really quite sour, and matchmaking and the player selection in the Crucible didn't work properly, and also had some problems with the scores. And also the period of loading was almost infinite, so you had to wait for a very long time before you were either slotted in, or indeed if you were waiting for the game to kick off. So obviously the servers are suffering because we have many people joining. They all want to be trying Guardian games, old and new, amongst the hardcore gamers from the community. And I think there's relatively few people doing the maintenance, and that's literally the problem that's kind of widespread across the board in the community of developers, because for the obvious reason we can't really work to our full capacity. We're all stranded, and that's really reflected on all that we can access. So that's been a technical problem that is fully understandable, and I think it's going to ease off as we proceed with activities during the next few days. People need to be a bit patient, a bit more tolerant as well, and I've enjoyed my activities, and we've been doing the Crucible most of the times, and we'll see today whether we'll do a bit of Gambit, maybe a bit of Escalation Protocol, or maybe some strikes for a change, because some of the bounties are related to activities in the strikes as well, and we'll keep it like slightly diverse. But excuse me, I really quite enjoy doing the Crucible as part of the Guardian games. Pretty, to see some of the guys wearing those fancy Guardian Games cloaks and ornaments and outfits. I guess many people bought them for their own dollar, and I've seen quite a few of them already on Tuesday night. But nevertheless, it seemed festive, and it seemed quite good because we were able to collect lots of laurels that have been dropped from various gamers. I've got to say, not many people in the Crucible are playing Warlock. So I kept collecting so many Hunter and Titan laurels. I'm not sure whether it's to do with the games I entered or what, but there's like so many. And the ones I really wanted, which is Warlock ones, I was not really getting in a very large quantity. So we'll have to carry on with the same in order to beef up on our scores. But first of all, I think what we'll do is we'll go back to the tower, we'll look at the admin, and we'll crack on with some matches. So get ready for some fierce action here in our brand new, in fact, Guardian games, Destiny 2 that is. So first of all, we'll go to the tower, and I did complete one of the bounties that were given to me by Ava. So I'm quite curious to see how this is going to be unfolding. It's going to be the first one that I'm presenting to Ava since we started with Guardian games. And it did take me a bit of time. The one I've completed is a bounty related to solar grenades. So I did manage to neutralize, I think, 20 or 30 other Guardians in the Crucible with my grenades, and that had to be done like a finishing touch. I had to polish them off, you know, the final blows, so to speak, and therefore it was very, very lengthy. So it did take me, well, for a while, really. There was quite a few matches I had to complete with my grenades, and considering that I don't have fiber, it is rather difficult. But you know, my scores during the last couple of days here in the Crucible were really very, very good, and I think they must have tweaked the Crucible activity, because I can see a big difference compared to the way it was, let's say, 12 months ago. I am affected by lag, and yesterday we've had some people from Spain and France who were on their servers, and their internet is much superior to ours over here, and you really can tell the difference. In fact, there were a couple of Spanish players who were dying 2 seconds later after being neutralized by me. So they would kind of, you know, they would basically get killed, and it was frustrating for me too, but, you know, there's nothing I could do really. It's the tech side of things. Right, we are back to the tower. Let's go to Ava. Let's see what she has. You can see there is a slight delay really with everything being loaded. You can see that. That is a server-based problem. So we'll go to Ava.
Let's take a look.
Let's take a look. We've got a reward for certain. We don't have a reward. That is infuriating. Because I thought we were going to get a daily reward, and I worked really hard yesterday, but it looks like I got nothing. But look at this. This bounty is complete, the first one. The bounty is called Hot Fusion. So it's a daily bounty. As a Dawnblade, which is the solar power, land final blows with fusion grenades, defeat Guardians grant the most efficient progress. Rewards is XPs. Okay, so that's the XPs. That's all I got. So it's completely insignificant. All the hard work, and you could see as to why some people were rather frustrated. So in here we have Super. Defeat targets with Void Supers. Defeated Guardians grant the most. So we'll do maybe Void next. And we'll do that in the Crucible just to warm up. Patrols. What's this? Complete scan patrols and in destination. Well, that's quite easy. And then we have Daybreak. Defeat targets with Daybreak at a long range. Okay, we'll choose one of these. Let me think which one I'm going to do. I think we'll go probably for Void Super Games. So we'll go for see. Users in Arc Soul, Lloyd Walker. Okay. Nova Bomb, fine. So that should do the job. And then we need to also double check whether We are doing well with our quest. Let's see how many laurels we picked up on your laurels. 26%. I collected so many, so that's really annoying. So let me think, what do we do? First of all, we'll pick up some bounties from Ava. So that's number 1. So we have 2 bounties from her. Defeated in streaks. Yesterday I had like 5 and 7 times streak. It was incredible. I was really very happy with that. As a Void Walker using Attunement of Hunger. Defeat enemies we devour in streaks of 10 or more. 10 or more? Well, that will be quite tricky. Obtain any additional random Guardian Games bounty.
Why not?
So that's Void Grenade.
I could get you
Super
another if
Games,
you like.
Arc, Super. So we are literally full of her bounties and medals. Earn points by completing Guardian Games bounties. Weekly bounties 4 points, daily 2 points. We need 10 points. Okay. So it looks like the first one. Oh dear. As we progress, that gets more and more difficult. So I'm very far even from my first one. Well, tricky. I'm rushing it a bit because I'll be having a break at 5 o'clock. I'll watch the news conference and then we'll carry on later as usual.
Checking.
I think I have Warlock Bond, which is 57 or so. No, it's 54. Okay. So, oh no! What did I do? Oh, I deleted the one which was more powerful than. Mind you, this is a lot more powerful. So what we'll do is we'll infuse this one. Sage Rivalry. That's it. So we've gone up 958. At getting rid of hits of 956, 955, 54. All of these are not necessary. And then we have 955 and 955 and 954. Well, this one we had. Don't really need that one. More weaponry. 953, 954. I think I'll pass on that one. Because I want maybe 958, 59 or so if I'm infusing. Not very significant otherwise. So that's 54, 56, 55, 54. Okay, so that is Fate Cries Foul. Okay, we can really stash this one in the vault. And then 954, 956. Okay, I'll increase that one. I'll increase that one. Why not? And then let me see what else have I got. 957. The blue ones we do not really like. Let me see. Do we have any new artifacts in there? We have. Splintered Gladiators, defeating Cabal Centurions, Gunsmith Materials. Let's see. Small arms loader. Unstoppable hand cannon. What does it do? Okay, that's pretty good. Like the idea of that unstoppable hand cannon, which we are going to be equipping. So what else do we have here? That's all done and dusted. Just need to be picking up some bounties, and then we'll get on with some fierce action. Do you have anything there? No, I don't think so. Yeah, some wonderful outfits in there for everyone to use. or to buy cigars rather. He needs to be the last one, as I have to be picking up some bounties from Shaxas. We are going to be doing some of the Crucible matches.
What light can do?
Don't get really that many.
This was made for you.
Just one of those. Okay. So it looks like we can just pick up a few more from Zavala. We need to see what types of bounties he actually does have today.
Good to have you back.
Well, already picked up everything from him by the looks of it. So we are literally ready to go. Off we go. As you could see, on your laurels is a lengthy grind, so I really need to be
Much to be done and little time to do it.
picking up as many laurels as possible, and also a bit disappointing that these bounties are giving you, like the daily bounties are giving you just like 2 points, and it takes such a long time to complete them, which means it'll take me forever to get some of the medals. But you know, such is life. Just like some of our friends here would say, well, Destiny 2 is a one very lengthy grind.
Soon, Guardian. But when it does, we will be ready.
And there was something said today on PC Gamer about the new RPG content, that we're expecting the Forces of Darkness to attack the tower, and they're kind of looking forward to future development. I think they were indicating this would happen at some point later in the year, but I'm not 100% sure when and how and where. But I definitely want a lot more of that story content. I think that is what's absent from this game. We are doing all these activities, but they don't really, you know, tie together various elements of the story. We have Pinky in here. Hello, how are you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for watching our broadcast. Pinky says Destiny 2 is just one long bounty hell. Well, I think specifically like Guardian games and Pinnacle Weapons grinds are very lengthy, and they're not really for people who are up for, you know, like quickly daily achievements and, you know, loads of different things which are available instantly. It's for hardcore gamers, but then on the other hand, Destiny provides us with, you know, plenty of options. We can decide on how we want to play the game, because some people will be quite keen on collecting and completing and then getting some rare weapons and all this. Others will be perhaps more inclined to do escalation protocol and some, you know, fierce activity on the moon, maybe doing some strikes, maybe some crucible. So there's quite a variety, and if you think about it, Destiny 2 is almost like 10-15 games in one. You have PvE, you have PvP, you have PvP together with PvE. You have different options to which you can actually do these. I quite like the idea that they made you know, all the kit more customizable, so it's becoming more kind of tailored to the gamer's need. And if you want to have a team of 3, and if you have your friends or, you know, certain community members, you always have one character that's going to fit in a particular team. You build your character and customize him to the best of your ability, and then he'll have extra skills. And the only trouble first year is the internet speeds. And I was just saying, I don't know whether you were here with us earlier, we played yesterday against a team that was from France and from Spain. They had quite a few people who were on their servers, and it was unbelievable. You know, the difference in internet speeds was phenomenal, because I would eliminate like 3 or 4 of them, and 2 of them would die 2 seconds later, and they obviously were able to kill me because the hits didn't register fast enough. So that is a serious issue for anyone who wants to be doing PvP on a competitive level. And I think sometimes maybe even some minute differences, how quickly you can connect to the server and how fast your fiber is, could affect the actual gameplay. It's a bit latent, you know, it's not as visible as you would have had it before, and I think it's similar to what we have in Call of Duty Modern Warfare Warzone. It's very, very sort of ingrained within the game. You don't really see it straight away, but when you hammer the game for a while, you will be able to see that somebody who is with a sniper and on very, very fast fiber can hit you with that sniper and you're dead straight away. And you know, the other way around. I mean, I've been in some games where my weapons worked perfectly, and then I've had a couple of situations where somebody was on the ground and he was crawling, and I used my revolver, 2 magazines, and he wasn't gone, you know. So, and Pinky says PvP matchmaking is crazy. It was actually working quite well until recently, but with the latest update for the Guardian games, they completely ruined it. And it is loading for a very, very long period of time, and then secondly, the biggest problem is you're no longer slotted with the players who are on the same level. Like yesterday I had some incredible players in there. I mean, they were like top-notch veterans of Destiny, as well as they were on fiber. So do you know what I mean? That they're like kind of the hit ratio was unbelievable. There was one guy, believe you me, it was he was, I think he was a Spanish player, so he was on Spanish servers, right? And using obviously the local internet connection. Can you imagine? Yesterday, in one shot, this match was like 7 minutes. He had 39 kills. 39 kills in a short match of 7 minutes. And, you know, it does tell you that he had some massive, massive advantage in there. And he had like 39 kills and he captured 12 zones. It was, goodness me, it's incredible. Because, you know, on average, you will have people, I don't know, scoring between 25 and 35 or so. And you really could tell. I have Cerberus, 5-barrel Cerberus. If he came next to me, like 2 feet away, and I open up on him, he would be gone reasonably fast, right? But he was like 10 feet away from me. I could empty the whole load, and he would suffer no damage whatsoever. Whilst he would just look at me, and I was dead. So, and also it was visible with his speed. His character was moving a bit more rapidly compared to the rest of the crew. You could really tell. So, it wasn't to do with any mods, anything that he picked up. It was just purely to do with that speed. Right, so I think I want to do maybe a few matches, as my break will indeed take place at 1700, which is about 55 minutes. So that is what will be happening. We want to warm up a bit, and then we'll come back later with a lot more of our kind of relentless gameplay. I need to work out basically what I need to do, because I want my bounties to be completed compared to what I was doing yesterday. So let me see. The first bounty is solar grenade games. Defeat targets with solar grenades. Okay, defeat targets with art supers. Solar supers. 20. Okay. Anyway, so that's solar grenade. That's arc, that's solar. So 2 of them could be done more or less together. Okay, what we'll do is we'll do void grenades first. So put my void on, and then we'll do supers, because hopefully 2 of these could be completed. And we have also void supers, so 2 of these could be. Okay, so that's good. Complete scan patrols. Okay, so it's alright, so it's going to be like 2 and 2 by the looks of it, so that's not too bad. It's because I combined those bounties from yesterday, so I like some of those from yesterday, other ones here from today, and that's obviously making it easier to combine. Otherwise, it's a bit like a bounty, 1 bounty per ability per day. That's a bit tricky if it is such a lengthy grind. So let me check. I've got my void on, I think I equipped it earlier. Yeah, and I've got my Cerberus. I have to tell you that Cerberus is performing miraculously well in the Crucible. The best weapon for me, and it does give really very, very good results. And I have to say, the enemy is quite vulnerable. Not sure what the reason for that is, because I've heard from other gamers that they didn't find Cerberus particularly useful. But for me, considering my internet speeds, it does wonderfully well. And I'm using that one mod that is making sure that Cerberus is not shaking too much and not providing me with recoil, so it's become a bit more precise compared to the past. Alright, so the reward there was Anchor Seeker 4. Not necessary, we've got that one already. Remember, anything which is completely necessary, always delete, because the number of items we're picking up here in Destiny 2 is phenomenally great. And although the Bolt is also providing, I think, 500 spaces, what's the point of keeping the items you're never going to use? No point at all. Okay, so Crucible it is going to be, and we'll do some control matches immediately. Let us just get there as fast as possible. Destinations, Crucible, Control, and we are going to launch. So get ready for some fierce action in Control. Crucible it is, Destiny 2. I want to ask Pinky, are you also doing Guardian games? Are you enjoying the activities so far? What's your view? What's your take on both Guardian games and Season of the Worthy? We've had some interesting discussions here yesterday, and our friends were saying we're not really that keen on Season of the Worthy. It's a bit, you know, we've seen it all before, not much to do. I think every season, theoretically or ideally, we need to bring some RPG content, so you have like a new chapter or something new unraveling and then tying up all the other activities to that. But that's a lot more difficult to make and requires greater manpower, resources and investment. But that's the future, I think. There'll have to be a lot more, you know, chapters thrown in really to bring a story and connect things a bit more. Otherwise it's going to be just like any battle royale. You just go out and eliminate, kill, collect some XPs, and then obviously after a little while people get a bit tired. Didn't get to that stage, but considering I was doing Destiny for a whole year as the sole game, you know, on the channel, it really kind of prevented me from enjoying all the other games out there, and obviously we have very, very many. So my channel had diversified during my Season 2 broadcast and had quite a few games here. Thoroughly enjoyed it. But then you always have the same problem, and that is you can't really carry on with that degree of continuity because there's no time to finish a game of Borderlands or, you know, other massive big games. And then you think, right, that's going to be another open world game. Okay, we slotted in on a particular day, we'll do it again. And then you have another game, and then another game, and it's just, the sheer number of titles is mind-boggling. And if you're on Xbox, and if you go to Microsoft Store, and let's say you choose Control, or you choose, I don't know, Gears of War, and then they'll tell you, we recommend other games if you're playing this one. So you click Select All, right, to see everything recommended. You get like 500 games selected, or recommended. And through that selection, you are really discovering the games you've never heard of. And I have to say, some of them are astonishing. They look so beautiful, like, you know, visually they're just mouth-watering. I discovered a game that was, I think, made by Italian developers, and it's like a film noir, you know, the style that I really like. Has about 3 episodes, offered on a price about £2.50. And the trailer and, you know, the excerpts look really, really good, and I really like that. It's that kind of game archaeology that brings you to discoveries, where you discover a game that you never heard of and you really love it. Similar to film archaeology, discovering some unknown silent films and finding out they're absolutely amazing. awesome films from the 30s and 40s, and you know, so going back in time and making your own lists with your own discoveries. And quite frankly, the video gaming industry has reached the level which is very similar to American cinema of the 1930s. It's very diverse, lots of different products. Like in those days, the studios were turning out anything between 300 to 600 films a year per studio, and you know, it's plenty on offer. On the other hand, the interest from the overall population is as massive for video gaming today as it was for silver screen in the 1930s. So that's really, you know, that's quite interesting. And the problems that they faced and the industry of, you know, the developers face today is completely the same. Indie games without marketing budget, they can't really get to wide audiences, and Microsoft is doing everything possible by throwing in some freebies and, you know, promoting games on this week on Xbox, but you know, the vast majority of people are not interested. There's no marketing budget drawing them to a particular game. They'll resort to AAA blockbusters because they feel these games are worthy of their investment. In a similar fashion as some people say, I'm not going to watch Dallas Buyers Club, or, you know, it's completely kind of indie flick. I'll go and watch Superheroes, The Avengers in IMAX. I pay £30 to see the film, but I feel that £30 is worth it because the special effects, colour, all that you see on the screen, the experience, the excitement, the length of the film. It's that sort of mindset, I'm afraid, and so far it's been paying off, but it ostracizes other sections of the industry where very talented crews and teams producing fantastic games do not really receive that degree of exposure and appreciation from the wider community, and that itself is very much of concern. I always support all the indie games and doing everything possible to elevate those that are not well known, and we have every weekend gameplay of those games offered through Xbox. You know, freebies, the weekend freebies with gold, and I collect all of those also on the monthly basis. Try to support as many indies as possible, but it's hard. You see this is what's been happening since the last update. Just waiting, you know, for Kingdom to come is just unbelievable. It was the same thing yesterday. I just sat in here, waited, and then once I was slotted in, they were literally just combining one group of players, like 12 players, continuously. And even if I was going back to the matchmaking, I was still brought back to the same crew several times, which was very annoying. I didn't want to really play against the guys who were on such fast fiber. I keep playing against them all the time. Then you have a successive selection of matches that are not particularly enjoyable, and you know, quite uneven. I think the matchmaking is suffering at the moment. It was better a little while back, and we need to see what really happens. Look at this now, 6 to 12. We were down to 11 to 12. Probably waiting for 10-15 minutes before we get on. Just wondering about our friends watching. You guys also doing Guardian games. Are you interested? How are you finding them? What's your view and what's your take on Season of the Worthy, the latest season? I played quite a bit of it. I think I'm progressing forward quite well, and I've been quite happy because, you know, unlike some of the guys that want to have diverse activity every single day, I don't really have time available to entertain all of it, and certainly during the second year with those 3 very, very busy seasons, I was not able to catch up with many of those things on offer, whilst the seasons that are less busy are providing me with I guess more of a leisurely approach to certain tasks. On the other hand, I have many tasks and quests here from the base game that I still need to complete. And then when you combine one with another, it's just like an overwhelming task. But as I'm going to be bringing Destiny 2, you know, back in full here to my channel, then we'll probably have other community members popping in. We'll do things together, and then we'll look at the quests, do them one by one. But obviously it is very much based on my schedule as well, because my schedule, certainly since the pandemic started, has been very, very different to what I had in the past, and I had to be looking for some windows of opportunity and slotting the times in. We are fighting against this deadly, deadly disease, and it's like nothing I've ever seen, really. I've heard our chief of staff yesterday, and he said, serving in the military for more than 40 years, I've never had this degree of logistical difficulty. It's been unbelievably tricky and very, very hard on the personnel delivering the equipment and doing everything, because even in a war situation, you will not have the radius of operations or mobility restricted 100% everywhere. But in this instance, it's massive restrictions everywhere because of the danger of contagion. And that's terrifying, you know. It slows down the effort and hampers really all that you want to do. But the signs are certainly pointing out into a good direction. We are winning these battles, slowly but surely, and then eventually we'll win the war as well. But everybody, every single human has got to be abiding by the rules. Otherwise the pandemic will grow, come back with a second and third or 10th wave, and take many, many more human lives everywhere. I just wish that people would really get that degree of clarity. Well, I waited for more than, 10 minutes, and now I'm being booted. And I've been told that we can't get in. And that was not happening yesterday. I've had one issue. I had one situation where the actual match crashed. We didn't get our scores, but we didn't have this infinite loading and infinite waiting periods. No idea as to why this is happening. The possibility is there are fewer people doing the maintenance for the number of rooms available, and therefore they reduced the number of rooms, and we have very many players, particularly now after the launch of the Guardian games, that want to come in. You see this? Second take, we're in straight away. Well, what do you know? And this is going to be our first match after all of that waiting. That's so annoying. Vostok, Felwinter Peak on Earth. Been there yesterday a few times. You can see the loading is very slow.
Zones are yours if you fight for them, Guardian.
Indeed, we need to fight for the zones.
Enemy claimed Zone A. You captured Zone B.
Okay, we've captured it.
Enemy
That's good.
claimed Zone C. You're in the lead.
We are in the lead.
The lead is lost, but the battle is still close.
Where's he gone? Oh, he was faster than me. Well done, though. Just my weapon didn't want to fire for some reason. I don't know
Zone
why.
B lost. Your
Taking
enemy
a bit
has a
longer
power play.
than usual.
You captured Zone A.
There's another one in there. That was good. That was even unexpected.
Zone C captured. You have advantage. Zone A lost.
Alright. That recoil is causing me some troubles in here, which is annoying. Oh, picked up a laurel. Warlock laurel, that's good.
Zone A captured. Zone advantage is yours.
We need to push up.
You gained the lead. Zone A lost. You captured Zone
Okay.
B. You have advantage. Zone C lost. They have the lead, but the match isn't over.
Where is it?
Zone A captured. You have
Wolfie, go away.
Zone
Just
B lost.
look at that.
Zone C captured. You have advantage.
Oh, there's two of them in there. I should use my super. Forgot about it. And they're gaining points in there. That's ridiculous. Okay, just have to wait and see when. I'm gonna get like 2 or 3 of them in there.
Zone C lost.
Sold specialist. Not really.
You captured Zone B. You have zone advantage.
Zone C.
Zone C captured. That's a power play. You took them, now hold them. 5 minutes remaining. Zone A lost. I bet they didn't expect that!
That's disappointing. There were 3 of them in there and just 1 of them got whacked. So that's definitely not good. Golden gun. Well, golden guns are rather mighty. Oh man, we're losing again. Press conference. Alternative a bit short. Shielded.
You have advantage.
We need to crack on. Hunt Laurel. So many of them.
Zone C lost. Zone A lost. Your enemy has a power play.
So frustrating when you can see that your internet connection is causing this, and so annoying.
3 minutes.
The weapon doesn't work too well on a wider distance. If you're really close to that person, to that character, then it works better. What annoys me in particular is that my super is barely protecting me, whilst I could see with the other guys they're always protected by the super. I really hate that.
Zone A lost. You captured Zone B. You have advanced.
So many hunters.
Zone C lost.
No, that was good. It's because he was literally falling onto me. Yeah, I got him though. But the trouble is, with some of the guys in there, it's almost like a 1.5 lag.
Zone C captured. You have advantage. One minute. Hit them hard. Gains the lead.
Kinda late. I don't understand why he wasn't gone.
Seconds. Fight on. Zone C lost. You captured Zone A. You have advantage.
Well, this is really close.
This is it. Zone B lost. I could not ask for a better victory.
Ah, that was good. That was good, and that was tight. It was like literally 2 points, 1 point in between.
And still you triumph.
Okay, I'm happy. Captured 8 points, control points. Yeah, it was even. You can see that most people are having between, what, 12, 13 and 17. Okay, enough time for another one. Good. Maybe even 2 matches rather than 1. We'll see. Looking good. It was good. It was enjoyable. But you know what? I want to see whether I'm getting anything on my quests front and bounties. Yeah, very little. In here, super 2 out of 20, 2 out of 10. Well, at least something. What's this? Final blows with supers. Okay, 22 out of 100. 2 out of 10. Well, alright, not too bad. Getting somewhere. Slowly but surely. Let's crack on with another fierce Crucible match. Control it is going to be. Off we go. Retribution upper stratosphere on Mars. Right. Sounding good. Taking a long while to load, look at this. No.
Control.
My team.
The zones are yours if you fight for them, Guardian. Enemy claims Zone A.
Okay, we picked up something and I didn't see what it was. Warlock Laurel, that's good.
A team that fights together stays together. You gained the lead. Your legend grows. Zone C lost. Zone B captured.
Cerberus is very deadly.
You captured Zone A. You have advantage. And that's why we have fire teams.
Exactly.
Zone B lost.
Oh, I didn't see him. Ah, that's annoying.
Lead is lost. The battle is still close. Shut the enemy down.
Shut
Zone
the
A
enemy
lost.
down.
Power play.
But they're winning.
Enemy has your zone. Zone C captured.
They are winning. Where's he gone?
Zone C lost. Your enemy has a power play. Your opponents have built a lead. Destroy it. That shut them down. You captured Zone C.
I don't believe that they are winning.
One after another. Zone C lost. Power play. Enemy has your zone. 2 for 1.
I don't believe that we are losing. Well, I'm doing so well. The guys are not. Where's he gone now? Owens Mall.
Zone B captured. Zone A captured. You have zone advantage.
Let's see, why is it?
Zone A lost.
Oh, flanked me. God. Don't believe it. Why is it a losing? Hammer strike.
Zone B lost. Your enemy has a power play. You captured Zone C.
Like a devastating loss.
You have zone advantage.
No, that's good.
Zone C lost. 3 minutes remaining. 2 for 1.
2 for 1.
Your enemy has defeated you.
Look at this. A devastating defeat. Well, you can tell us why we lost. Not difficult to see. Okay, enough time for another match before the break. What's that now? Changing the whole thing. Oh, never mind. So we're off to Infinite Forest and Mercury. Let's see how far we'll go with that activity.
Control.
Bring it on.
Capture and defend, Guardians.
Capture and defend Guardians. Nessus.
Enemy claimed Zone A. You captured Zone C.
Okay. 1-0.
Enemy claimed Zone B. Zone A captured. Zone advantage is yours. Double down. You're in the lead.
I don't believe it. What was this person doing?
Zone B captured. That's a power play. You took them, now hold them. Zone A lost. Lead is lost, but the battle is still close. Zone B lost.
Oh, he's there. Okay. Played against me in the last match, probably. Last two matches. They're winning again. Randy. Now I can tell what the problem is. My team's not capturing zones. This is why we are losing.
Your opponents are pulling away. Drag them back.
Yeah, we got to. They didn't capture any zones. None. So he didn't survive.
Zone A captured. You have advantage.
Yeah, I'm not having any form of advantage. I'm actually disadvantageous in here. Because these other guys are on much faster fiber, you could tell. Taking much damage from me. Oh, we're losing this game again.
Zone C lost. Zone B captured. You have advantage.
Okay, they captured that. Alright.
Only 5 minutes left. catching up. Close the gap.
Well, just about. So annoying, this.
Zone B lost. 3 minutes. Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours.
Blade barrage. Oh, that's not pretty good, is it? Lag.
Zone B lost.
So we are losing this game.
One minute.
Ah, so annoying this is.
Zone A lost. It's a power play. Get those zones back. The enemy has gained ground, but it's not over. 30 seconds remaining. Zone B captured. Zone C captured. You have advantage.
You could see really from there. That's why I didn't register. You really could.
10 seconds. You're defeated. Fight again.
Never mind. We'll take a break now. Once I come back, we'll carry on with activities. So that's all good. Thanks very much for watching. I'm going to be watching our press conference, the UK government press conference, and I'll be back later on. We'll carry on then with our Guardian games and further adventures and activities here in Destiny 2. So come back later on and we'll crack on with our adventures in our beloved Destiny 2 game. Until then, I wish you all a very, very good evening.